Welcome back to Spicy Mama's Kitchen. I'm Cheryl, your host, and today we're going to do an American classic, the meatloaf. Now, some people don't like to make meatloaf because they think it comes out mushy or too dry, but I'm going to show you the perfect meatloaf. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started here. We've got ground beef, and to that we're going to add our onions, just a quarter of a cup of chopped onions, and of course Spicy Mama's got to add her green chili to it. A little bit of garlic goes in next. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. And then you can use any type of seasoning. I happen to have some Lowry seasoning salt, so I'm going to add some of that to give it a little bit of flavor to it. And then you always want to add your breadcrumbs, because that's your binding agent that's going to help hold your meatloaf together. And then of course your egg that helps hold it all together as well. Now I have gloves, so I'd like to put them on and really get in there and get squishy with it. So once you get your meatloaf all mixed up, you're going to want to put it into a 350-degree oven, and it goes anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the size of your actual meatloaf that you're making. Okay, now that you got your meatloaf all put together and ready to go, we did spray the pan with some cooking spray so that it doesn't stick, and now we're just going to pop it into the oven. 350 for an hour to an hour and a half. To add to our meatloaf that's in the oven, and by the way, it smells delicious right now too in here, we're also going to make some cheese potatoes. So we start off by boiling. I've cubed up our potatoes, and we're going to start off by boiling them to get them cooked before we... Okay, now that you have your potatoes all cooked, what we're going to do now is we're going to put our cheese on it. And lots of cheese, because we love our cheese. And then what we're going to do is our meatloaf's about to come out of the oven, and so we're going to replace it by putting our cheese in there. Give our meatloaf a chance to rest while our cheese melts all over our potatoes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our meatloaf out. And look at that. Is that a beautiful meatloaf? Yum! Put our cheese potatoes in for just about 10 or 15 minutes, just enough time to get all the cheese to melt all over the potatoes. Your potatoes done and your meatloaf done. Let's get a good nice plate going here. Let's take this nice piece, get all the goodness in there. It looks delicious. Potatoes are still pretty hot, so we're going to get something on them. Cheese melting on there. And if you've been watching all my videos so far, you'll know that I do a lot of canning. And one thing, in every episode I've used some of my canning as part of our dish. Today it's going to be a side dish. These are my beets that I can. I grow them in our greenhouse, and then I use my own homemade recipe for canning them. They're delicious. We like them best to put them in the refrigerator and get them cold ahead of time. You can heat them up if you like, but we prefer ours cold. So let's go ahead and put them on our plate here. And there we go, your great meatloaf dinner. Thank you for joining us today. Lily and I had a great time today putting together a great meal of meatloaf, and we hope that you'll try it and enjoy it. Thank you, and join us again next